Seeing goblins. Appreciating goblins. Succubus with goblins.
And we don't want no problems. Okay, you're a goon. What's a goon?
I'm not happy, y'all. I'm not happy. Welcome to Pod Goblins, the podcast where Jaden has technical difficulties and I can't figure out how to work the media assets on StreamYard, which causes us to get 10 minutes into recording and have to restart. So, how's everybody doing? How are we doing? Jaden, why don't you tell the people what we're here for today?
All right. So we've been talking about for months about doing an episode on a certain franchise with a cannibal family. I think we first mentioned this back in... Yeah, we're talking about the Kardashians today. No, we've been talking about this since like beginning of summer. So we're going to be talking about the Texas Chainsaw movies today. And for any of you guys who may be new to like our podcast, me and Nick like to go pretty deep into franchises when we discuss them, film by film, talk about our experiences with them, what we think of them, give a big old ranking at the end. And
I'm about to bust.
This is one of the big ones that we had left. We've been hitting some smaller ones. I Know What You Did Last Summer. It didn't do great.
Stop doing that. You're doing it on purpose.
What?
Continue.
All right. But I'm ready for this. This is going to be a fun episode. There are a ton of these movies. It's a very dumb franchise, and I know me and Nick have seen all of these multiple times.
Yeah, so I'm just going to say, like I did in the previous recording before my excellence got ruined, I don't really see how so many consider this the greatest horror movie ever made. Great movie. Love it. Historical significance is unquestioned. But I don't see greatest ever, you know? The original is definitely Tobe Hooper's magnum opus. I'm never going to take that away from him or the film. But greatest ever? I don't know. It's not even my favorite in the franchise or Jaden's. And we'll get to that because for once we're going to agree on something, which is wild. But Jaden, let's stop cock teasing and let's just give it to the audience. Start us off with the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Alrighty. So I've talked about on this podcast before how pretty much straight out of high school is when I really started to get back into horror. I had loved horror movies as a kid, but kind of waned over time. But I just started hitting a lot of the big films that I'd never seen when I was like 18, 19. And Texas Chainsaw was one of them. I watched the remake and its sequel a lot as a kid because that was my era. That's me and Nick's era for Texas Chainsaw. But the original I'd only seen clips of. I'd never actually seen it in full. And it left me largely unimpressed the first time, which I wasn't expecting. I was expecting a lot more. And I think I've grown up with it. And since I've watched it multiple times since, it kind of just keeps going up for me. I agree that I don't think it's the greatest of all time. I've never really thought that. And for a long time, I thought it was overrated. I'm not sure I think that anymore. I rewatched it a couple weeks ago when I was watching all these movies, and I really loved it this time, but it's still not my number one. But I have a topsy-turvy relationship with this movie. But what about you? I think we can agree with some of that.
Yeah, I mean, look, similarly to you, I've had kind of a weird relationship with the movie. Thinking back on the first time I saw it, I honestly can't even say that I know when I first saw it. I know I wasn't a little kid. Like, I remember vividly, Halloween 5 was the first Halloween movie I ever saw, and I remember that experience. I remember the experience of watching A Nightmare on Elm Street for the first time, or The Exorcist. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I don't think I do. And I think that was probably because it was in my preteen years or whatever. And it didn't really have that much of a lasting impact on me. I mean, I knew it was good the first time I saw it. Like, I liked the movie, but I didn't see it at an impressionable enough age to where it was going to, I feel like, deeply impact me at all. So that's no fault of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but it is something to mention. I remember I liked the movie. As I said, I think it is a good movie. It's a great movie. I won't take that away from this movie. But I guess for me, there's something missing with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre that I feel like a lot of these other heavy hitters have. And I think that's why it's never been on my Mount Rushmore. While the antagonist in this is super unique, the family dynamic is unparalleled and fantastic. The macabre, sinister nature of this family and the things that happen in this movie and this franchise writ large is really, really interesting. But the Texas Chainsaw Massacre suffers from not really having a final girl. Stretch in part 2, I actually quite like. But the original film, crazy for me to say this because, like, you know, technically Sally is the final girl, but Franklin's a more important character than Sally, I think. I think he gets more screen time. And yeah, I think that is kind of a ding on the movie, honestly, that it doesn't have that. But, you know, I digress. As I became older and watched it more, I grew to appreciate it even more. And it's a great movie. But I'll just save everybody the suspense, and I'll just say it's a 4.5 out of 5 for me. I think that the lack of a true final girl or even final guy, you know, somebody to really root for, because let's be honest, if you want to make the case, well, Franklin is your final guy. Yeah, well, fuck Franklin. I don't really know what else to say about him. So yeah, it's a 4.5 out of 5 for me. If it would have had that, I think it would have done it for me.
Yeah, that's completely fair. That was kind of my biggest knock on the movie for years. The characters, like the heroines and heroes of the story, I guess, you don't give two shits about. Like, I don't know if anybody can name the people that aren't Sally and Franklin. That would be a tough trivia question. They're kind of just, you know, slabs of meat for Leatherface to put on a hook. Sally and Franklin get a couple of moments where you see their relationship, and they have like a nice bond as brother and sister. But again, most of the character moments are with Franklin, and he's an acquired taste. Like, I don't hate him, but I could 100% understand why people would.
He sucks.
Well, there you go. But no, I mean, if you had asked me when I'd first seen this movie, I might have rated it honestly like a 3.5. But on this last rewatch, I know, and watching it this last time, and over the years, like having it grow in my mind, it's probably up to a 4.5 like you. I can't give it a 5 because I don't think it's perfect. I don't, like, again, I think that there's no really strong characters besides the family. That is a bummer. But man, I mean, this movie's like a lot creepier than I had remembered when I first watched it.
It is.
Like, and there's some amazing jump scares too.
Don't spoil what yours is if this isn't the case, but
Sure.
Yes or no, would you say this is Leatherface at his best? Or do you think that's somewhere else in the franchise?
Man, that's hard. There's a lot of interesting Leatherface performances, but there is something about Gunnar Hansen.
Yeah.
There's something about Gunnar Hansen. I think he might still be the best, but there's some other really good performances and some really truly awful ones too, but we'll get to them.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah. But yeah, like the scare where Franklin gets killed and they're in the woods is an all-timer. Yeah. Honestly, and we'll talk more about it in the next movie too, but my favorite member of the family has always been Drayton. I think he's hysterical, and Jim Sedow's performance is phenomenal. He's like so menacing but hilarious at the same time. And then, the hitchhiker is also really cool to watch and such a weird zany performance. But yeah, I think this movie deserves the praise it gets, but I agree that it's not the greatest movie of all time. So 4.5 for me too.
That would be Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed, but that's a show for another day.
Yes, sir.
So, all right. So then we'll rotate. So then I'll start with part 2, and then you start with part 3. Okay. So then we get to the sequel, which took over a decade to make, and Hooper returned under the impression and the explicit direction that he was going to be able to do something different. He didn't want to make a true sequel to the first film in terms of tone and narrative, really. He kind of wanted to take bigger swings. And love or hate the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2, it is very different. You get Stretch, Caroline Williams, who, as I have already said, I think she's the best final girl the franchise has to offer. You get Dennis Hopper just as this lefty, this cop, kind of badass, but also kind of cringy. Like he teeters on that line. Bill Moseley as Chop Top, who was probably his most iconic role until I think Otis probably is now. But one of his 2 most iconic roles. And you get a switch up in tone. The movie's still a horror movie, but it's a lot more of like a black comedy. And you get more from Leatherface. I think you get to see more of the childlike nature of Leatherface. I would say his
Innocence?
Yeah, his innocence, but also, the scene with Stretch and the radio station,
Oh, yeah.
that seems to be a little more than his innocence. That's actually the opposite of his innocence.
That's true.
It's a very, very interesting sequel in tone with characters, everything like that. So I remember when I watched this, and I love the finale of this movie. I love it. And I love the opening. The opening of this movie announces it's totally different in tone. You're like, what the fuck? But I was there for it, man. But I remember the first time I watched this movie, I was like, I feel like this is more my speed than the first one. Like, I'm going to be totally honest. Like, I'm digging the humor. I'm digging the characters more. And as the years have gone on, I can firmly say that the first one is better than the second one. However, there is one aspect that the second one absolutely creams all over the first one, and that is characters. Way better characters in this movie. It's not even a debate. So I liked it when I first saw it. I really enjoyed myself on my last rewatch. I think this movie holds up really well. I'd give this probably 4 out of 5, honestly.
Yeah. Texas Chainsaw 2, I also saw pretty soon after the original when I was getting back into horror, and I loved it so much more than that movie. I watched this with my friends, and it was like super fun to watch together. The movie's hilarious. Drayton Sawyer again is like so funny in this movie, and he turns it up like to 11 in this. Chop Top's awesome. Stretch is the best final girl in this franchise. There's not going to be another one as good as her. And Caroline Williams' performance is great. Dennis Hopper is interesting. I don't love his characterization, but he's fun to watch at times. I mean, him in the shop with that like frumpy looking dude is pretty funny. But yeah, I mean, this is very much like a Gremlins 2 situation. Like the director got to make this batshit comedy that they always wanted to make with these characters, and I think it paid off, just like those 2 movies. I think these first 2 Texas Chainsaw movies are truly great. And I could see why a lot of people put them at the top 2 in the franchise.
And there's a strong case. I don't think it's number 1, but it's probably number 2. But there's a strong case to be made that it has the best poster.
That poster is awesome.
I love that poster.
It's so good. I do want to talk like a little bit about Leatherface though, because he is really interesting in this movie. He's a lot more childish and a lot goofier. And I do love the performance, but I do think something gets lost there for me, because I think in the original, when Gunnar Hansen,
he's not intimidating in this one. He's not.
No,
he doesn't intimidate.
Not at all. Yeah, not at all. But in that first movie, when Gunnar Hansen is just like booking it through the woods, that is like, man, putting myself in those shoes, I would shit my pants.
I just did.
this guy's like a little cuddly teddy bear. And
it works tonally. It works tonally with this movie, but I get what you're saying. You lose something with the character when that happens, because you're not in fear of them anymore.
Yeah. Right. And I don't love the mask. It's not bad, but the original mask is a lot cooler looking. But again, it's a goofy movie. It's a goofy mask. I get why they did it. If you had that original mask, it might offset the tone of this one. But this one's also a 4.5 for me, actually. Okay. Nowadays, I don't love it as much as the original, but it's so close. Like, yeah, it's right there with it.
I'm honestly surprised, Jaden. I've never known your thoughts on Texas Chainsaw Part 2. I don't think we've ever talked about it. We've never even really talked amongst each other about this franchise as a whole, aside from one movie, which I cannot wait to talk about. But yeah, I'm surprised. I didn't think you liked it that much. That's cool, because I definitely know that this has garnered the cult classic status in recent years specifically. But I still don't think it's talked about like the first one is at all. Like,
no,
there's 2 movies in this franchise that people talk ad nauseum about: the original and this other one that came out in 2003. But yeah. So okay, cool. So, yeah. But you say it's a 4.5, but the first one still edges it out.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right. Well, why don't you get us started with Leatherface? The first Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3.
Yeah, this is kind of the black sheep of this franchise in a lot of ways. I think it's probably the most forgotten and the least talked about. And weirdly, when I first watched this movie, I want to say it was 2021, where I watched like all the sequels for these films because I hadn't seen them all yet. I actually did dig it at the time, and I was like, I don't know, this is a fun movie to me. But upon this rewatch, it's not bad. I don't think I've heard anybody say it's outright bad.
It's bad.
Okay, well, Nick just said it, so never mind. Now I have. But it's just kind of whatever. It's not that memorable. I mean, Ken Foray is pretty fun in it. And the golden saw, like the golden chainsaw, like that's pretty awesome. That's probably the most memorable thing about the movie. But
being memorable doesn't make it awesome.
You don't like the golden chainsaw?
I feel like that's a jump the shark moment. Like, I feel like that's fair. It's kind of like, well, what if it was fucking golden?
Yeah. No, that's fair. I think the look of it is cool, but I think the biggest downside of this movie is the family, because in those first 2 movies,
Vigo rules.
Those 2 trios. What? I'm sorry. What was that?
Vigo rules, though.
Yeah, he's good in this. But his brothers are just kind of whatever. The mom character is no Drayton. The little girl doesn't add anything to this movie. And Leatherface, although I actually do like the mask in this one, I think it's creepy again. The actual body language of the character is fine. Outside of the scene where he's playing the little typing game for kids, it didn't feel like Leatherface to me. It just felt like another big dumb slasher. Mm-hmm. And yeah, just no memorable family. There's not really any comedic elements to this movie, which are in both of the first 2 movies, and that's part of what makes each of them great. I think I'd still stick with a 3.5 for this one, because I do think it's pretty good as a slasher, but I don't think it's as great as a Texas Chainsaw movie. So
Yeah. So look, guys, I'll keep this one brief because I'm not a fan of this movie. The positives, I like Viggo Mortensen in this movie. And we're about to get into another very good actor in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, whether you like the movie or not, giving good performance. Viggo is the first one in the line of them to do so. Ken Foree, I love Ken Foree and everything he's in. Give me more Joe Grizzly, bitch. I'll meet Jaden halfway and say that the Golden Chainsaw aesthetically is pleasing to the eye. I still think it's stupid as all hell. But whatever. Aside from that, though, I don't dig this movie at all. I don't like the look of Leatherface. I don't like the personality of Leatherface, or really lack thereof. I think a lot of the kills are kind of shoddily done at best. It feels really low budget, and I don't think it should have, with how popular specifically the first. I mean, we weren't that far removed from the first one. It's never been a movie that I've ever gone back to. But yeah, probably the biggest downside amidst all of that is the lack of a real family dynamic that I actually feel like I can get invested in and give a shit about. It's just not here in this movie. Not for me. So I'm not going to take everything away from this movie. There are things in this movie that are worth your time and that are above the line. Unfortunately, though, it's no dice for me. Giving this one a star rating. Oh, Jaden, that's interesting. A star rating for this bad boy. I'm trying to think, because I'm trying to think of the crap that we still have to get to.
yeah, this one isn't like atrocious. I feel like even if you don't like it, it's not bottom of the barrel.
It might be my least favorite. I don't know.
Wow.
I'm gonna give it 2. I'm gonna give it 2 out of 5.
Okay.
I find it largely unmemorable and boring. And what's the cardinal sin a film can make? It's being boring. So
yeah.
All right. Well, then we get into the Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. Buddy, what a movie that has been memed to death. I mean, getting right into this. I want to tell you guys about the first time I watched this movie. I remember watching this movie thinking that it was going to be a sequel to Part 3, because I was like, okay, this is the fourth one. And then I'm like, why is the setup so like eerily similar to like the first movie? It seems like they're restarting. And then I was like, oh, after I researched it and whatnot, I was like, oh, they are restarting. This was supposed to be like a remake. Great. Like 20 years later, let's remake it already. I was like, what the fuck? Okay, whatever. I hated this movie. The first time I saw it. All the nipples at the end, the fucking Illuminati shit, the over-the-top performances by literally everyone. The movie's so loud and obnoxious. There's hardly any kills at all. Leatherface sucks in this movie. I'm sorry. This Leatherface sucks ass. But I got to be honest with you. Over the years, people kept telling me you have to appreciate the pure zaniness and insanity of it, and blah, 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 blah. And guys, spoiler alert, I still don't like this movie. So I'm not going to do that like turn and be like, and you know what? I actually really love it. No. However, my buddy Mark sent me this Blu-ray, the Scream Factory Blu-ray, a couple months ago. Literally a couple days after I had watched it, I streamed it. I was a pirate, arg, because it wasn't streaming anywhere. And then he surprisingly sent it to me, and I was like, Mark, I literally just had to scour the internet to watch this the other day. You should have just told me, and then I would have been like, oh, I'll wait a couple days to go back and revisit it. But as I said, I'm going to be honest. I can understand the appeal of this movie. I can. This isn't a bad movie where I'm like, I don't get it. I don't know why people like this movie. Like Halloween Resurrection. I love you. If you find some enjoyment in that movie, I don't get it. I don't know what there is to enjoy in that movie. But in this movie, I can get it. because it is so batshit crazy and off the wall. They just go for it. And like, you either accept it or you don't. Renee Zellweger, although she would go on to become an Oscar-winning actress, she's not very good in this movie. But Matthew McConaughey is, okay? McConaughey is awesome in this movie. He is worth the price of admission alone. He's fucking insane. Jaden, before you start talking about this movie, you have got to meet me halfway here and admit McConaughey is chewing the fucking scenery, dude. And as opposed to part 3, this movie went back to having a more interesting family dynamic. I would have loved actually more kills. I would have loved a better Leatherface look and performance. I would have loved an ending that didn't seem so haphazardly thrown together and just fucking stupid. But all of that aside, McConaughey's great. And it is truly an acid trip. Now, I'm going to give it a 2 right there with part 3 because I still don't think it's a good movie. And I'm still not a fan. But right now, I'll wait till I get to my ranking. Okay. Jaden, you go.
Yeah, I had a very similar story when I was
Don't
watching
talk shit
this
about Mark
franchise.
this time. Don't talk shit about Mark this time.
I won't. I'm actually gonna talk. I'm gonna say something, but not talk shit. Yeah, when I first watched all these sequels, I knew about this one. I knew everything that was in it because I had seen videos on it, but I was trying to mentally prepare myself, and I started it, and 15 minutes in, I stopped it. And I didn't pick it back up for a couple of years. And then when I did, and the reason was that
was
car
that
scene,
before you got the great flash, though? Because there is a great pair of boobies in this movie. It's very quick, but there is a great pair of boobs in this movie.
it might have been before that, but specifically the car scene with all the teens talking together is fucking terrible. All of them are awful actors, including Renee Zellweger at the time. Zero charisma or like, I don't know, dude. They were just so
Zellweger
bad.
has
Their
no
dialogue was so
riz.
crazy.
No riz, bro.
But I picked it up a couple of years later. I watched the full movie and still hated it, but I made it through it. And on this last rewatch, it fucking clicked. This movie is so stupid and fun. I mean, I always liked Matthew McConaughey in it, and I do genuinely think Wilmer might be like a top 5 family member in this franchise. But yeah, I mean, just the whole family dynamic, his performance, the Illuminati shit with the weird like tribal symbol chest and nipples and the rings and the plane coming out of nowhere to kill Wilmer at the end.
Pierced? You don't have your nipples pierced? I do.
Not that way. My chest don't look like that. I do think Leatherface is truly terrible in this one and very forgettable.
Really bad.
I don't.
The
I don't
acting
remember.
overall is pretty bad, aside from McConaughey.
No, it is. But Leatherface doesn't do anything in this movie. I mean, there's 1 or 2 chase sequences, but this is Matthew McConaughey's movie for sure.
And you know what's funny about this movie, guys? If you're a Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan, I'm sure you know this, but if you're not, you probably don't. The reps for McConaughey and Zellweger were trying to like not allow them to market that they were in this movie. They want, because it didn't come out right away. I think it sat on a shelf for a couple years.
Yep.
And they were like, their reps were basically like, don't put them in the marketing. Don't put them in promotional material. We don't want people to associate them with that dog shit.
Yeah.
So that tells you what they thought of it.
Yeah. Something I do like, though, I think he was on like Conan or something, but McConaughey actually talked about this movie and he said he had so much fun watching it again. And when he was filming it, he had a ton of fun and he like actually loves this movie, which is cool because like there's other
take a
famous
lesson,
actors.
Paul Rudd. You
Yeah.
fucking dick.
Jennifer Aniston. There's a lot of people like that.
I love you, Paul Rudd. You're not watching, but
yeah, man, this movie honestly might also be a 3.5 because of how much fun it is. It's terrible. It's really truly awful, and it was a 1 star for me before, but now I am on the wavelength. In Mark from Saturn Video, I'm so sorry for tarnishing your name. For
no,
loving
he's
this
not.
movie.
No, he's not. Don't let him butter you up, Mark.
I get it now, though. I mean, I'm not on like Christian's level where he'll probably give it like 5 stars, but I do love this movie now. It's truly stupid in a beautiful way.
We don't talk about Christian. He's that boy. That boy ain't right.
Also, quick note before we head off of this one, it's directed by Kim Henkel, which
Yes.
is fascinating. Like one of the original voices of the first Texas Chainsaw, like the movie everybody thinks is a masterpiece. He made this.
Definitely did.
He did.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Who's to say? But look, you know what? I'm actually shocked because just a couple months ago when we talked about this movie, Jaden was like, "It fucking sucks, dude. It's terrible." Like,
Yep.
And so what I think really what it is that he's trying to save face with Mark. So, you know, whatever. I will not bend the knee. No. I still don't like it, but I understand it and I appreciate it. And I'll just spoil a little bit right now. I enjoy it more than part 3. So that's where I'm at with it.
All right.
All right, Jaden, what's next?
Man. What's next? This is very much me and Nick's Texas Chainsaw movie. The next movie up is 2003's remake, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Chainsaw, one word, not two.
That's right.
Man, I have a very deep history with this one. This is the first horror movie I ever remember watching. So this came out in 2003. I was 3 years old when I watched this with my sister.
Jesus Christ.
I watched. She was a psycho. Yeah.
No, I'm saying
But-
Jesus Christ that you were 3 in 2003.
Oh yeah. Well, you're like 4 years older, pal. All right.
I was 9.
How old are you now? You're 29,
almost-
right?
I'm almost 31.
Yeah. Okay. 5 years. Whatever. Same shit. But anywho, yeah, this is one of my like most nostalgic horror films, and I think it's kind of funny because this is like one of the most fucked up movies in this franchise. But I watched it as a kid, and that performance of Leatherface terrified me like deep to my core. I was always scared of whenever I saw that mask in like a Halloween store or online or whatever. I would cry when I was a kid. Yeah, 2 weeks ago actually. No, but this movie, man, it is mean. Like this is like it's so dirty and gross, and the characters are like spiteful. They fucking hate everyone and everything. I think this is the best family since the first 2 movies, and probably the best family including the
Period.
sequels that come after.
Period.
That's fair. Arlie Ermy, man. That
Yeah,
as,
who's the
like,
real villain in this movie? 'Cause
Yeah.
you can make the case it's Hoyt.
Yeah, he is evil, dude. I mean, he's so good in this movie. He's so hateable. He's so scary. Like just like this old white dude, like kind of like grumpy looking but unassuming.
I don't like old white dudes in general. So
No,
yeah.
I don't either, but I'm not scared of him. But Hoyt is, man, I would never want to be anywhere near that dude. We can talk more about the details of this movie, but give me your history with this because I know it goes pretty deep as well.
Oh, so deep. It wasn't the first horror movie I ever saw, obviously, because I'm an old fogey, but it was probably the one I watched the most in my youth. I had a friend named Chris. Well, Tommy and Chris, they were brothers, and I was best friends with both of them. And they got this DVD, and we wore this thing out to the point where we were watching it like once a week. And when we went to go see Alien versus Predator in theaters on opening day, we were riding to the theater in the minivan while their mom was driving, and it was a minivan that had a little TV, and we were watching the DVD of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre on the way to see AVP because like this movie was everything to me. Like it is probably one of my favorite horror movies ever. And people can say, oh, well, it's a generational thing. You know, you didn't grow up in the 70s and 80s, so that's why you prefer this one to the original. You're probably right. But I also just think that this is more my speed for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And that's why I prefer to the original. Because for some people, they don't like the portrayal or the look of Leatherface in this movie. I don't know how. Andrew Breniarski is fantastic. He is physically imposing. He is mean. This is very much cut from the same cloth that you would get Michael 4 years later in Rob Zombie's Halloween, that you would get Jason in Friday the 13th, 2009. Obviously, Platinum Dunes makes sense, but you can say a lot of shitty things about Platinum Dunes era. But one thing they got right more often than not was the killer. The antagonist was normally pretty fucking good. And even Freddy in Nightmare 2010, I hate the look because of the CGI, but I really like Jackie in that movie. I do. And he's grosser, he's meaner. Like they really like to take these icons and they're like, what if we make them so fucked up you don't want to wear their mask anymore? And like that's just like, ugh, yeah, like now I don't want to wear that mask. But I love the look. I love the performance. The cast in this movie is absolutely phenomenal. Jessica Biel, like, God, why are you with Justin Timberlake? He has a tiny wiener. There's no way. It's true. Britney Spears wrote about it in her book. But like, you know, she was like the eye candy of all eye candy for me as a kid. Like it was always Alba or Beale, and I was always a Beale guy because Beale looked like the kind of woman that could get like down in the fucking mud, man. And I dig that. I don't know. This movie fucking rules. I love the cast in this movie. I'm just gonna piggyback off of what he said about Hoyt with Arlie Ermy, probably the true villain in this movie. I don't like the notion that people say that there isn't personality to Leatherface. There absolutely is. There are definitely moments of like that childlike nature of Leatherface in this movie, specifically at the end when he gets his arm cut off and he's crying like a little kid. And like I see enough of it while also modernizing it to make it to scare the shit out of you. But there are two moments in this movie that make this an all-timer for me, Jaden. And I want to know if you agree. One, when you see the shot of Leatherface wearing Kemper's face, fucking nightmare fuel, dude. Like, that was like, dude, that's her boyfriend. But two, the entire scene where Hoyt is making, God, I can't remember the guy's name. Morgan. Clean up and get the dead girl out of the car and then sit there and put the gun in his mouth. Dude, so suspenseful. Like, so suspenseful. I don't know where Marcus Nispel went wrong because Friday the 13th 09 has none of what Texas Chainsaw does except a good antagonist.
Yeah.
Because this movie from top to bottom, cast, score, setting, Leatherface, gore, it has it all. Literally all of it. This is the best Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, and I will take no more questions at this time.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I think I'm right there with you.
Yeah, 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I think I'm right there with you. I mean, this is another 5 out of 5 for me too. For all the things you said, I do think there are far more interesting characters to follow in this movie. Again, Morgan, as we mentioned, and Jessica Biel, like they're way more interesting than Sally or Franklin or, you know, the other people that I don't remember the name of.
Her name's Erin, right? Yeah, Erin.
I think so, yeah.
She fucking threw the whole pot away, dude. The whole pinata of pot.
I do
she
think
didn't.
like
Yeah, whatever.
yeah, I do think there's like some moments missing that I do love in the original. Like as you were mentioning before, like people don't love the Leatherface performance. I still do, but it's very different. I mean, it's not that Leatherface you got in the original, and I kind of love them equally now. I think for a long time Bernarski was my favorite. I think Gunnar Hansen might be now, but I still love this movie more as a whole. Um, but yeah, he is. I mean, he is just different. He's way scarier. He's a monster versus like a sweet child slash killer. Like he's not. You can't really side with this Leatherface at all, or find anything like remotely innocent about him. Um, but yeah, I'm also that scene in the car, like you were mentioning, like when he just smashes the glass on his face randomly. It's so mean. I always felt so bad for that character. And we didn't talk about it, but the beginning of the movie, or close to the beginning, with the hitchhiker, not the same hitchhiker as we got in the original, but
Dude, she
that
pulled a
girl,
gun out of her snatch.
yeah. And then the shot where the camera goes through like her open neck
Oh,
hole, like that
fuck.
cinema.
No, that's just through her dome, bro.
Oh yeah. It goes
Yeah.
like up the
Mhm.
throat through her. Yeah. So
Yeah,
cool.
no. Look, we could talk about this movie ad nauseum because it's fantastic, but we got to get into the beginning now. And I want to set the stage for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning, because when Tommy, Chris, and I saw on Yahoo Movies the poster for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning, because this was back in the day where, you know, we didn't have smartphones at our disposal all the time and everything, we were like, holy shit, they're making another one. Like, oh my God, I can't wait. The trailer came out. We were so stoked. And when we found out it was a prequel, we were like, oh, we're going to get answers. We're going to find out why Monty doesn't have his legs. We're going to find out how Hoyt took over as sheriff, which, come to find out, it's because he killed the whole police force, essentially, one cop. Look, the beginning was something I was so jazzed for. Like, I can't even begin to tell you how excited I was for this movie. And I love it. And I loved it upon first watching. It is not as good as 2003. And I will just simply say, I think the reason and the thing that holds it back is the cast. I don't think they're as good. Jordana Brewster is nowhere near as good of a final girl as Jessica Biel. Like, let's just be real. Not they're in different leagues. I think that there are a couple moments in this movie where they intentionally try to lean more into like just straight up how nasty can we get, like just from the like opening with the birthing scene, where it's just like, okay, do we really need like this though? So there's a couple knocks with this movie, but I love it. It gave me the answers that I never knew I needed. It kind of helps you understand the family a little bit more. Because if you watched 03, you probably were thinking, like I was for years until the beginning came out, why is this cop all of a sudden an asshole? Like, what happened? Like, he's still a cop. Like, no, you find out he's not. You find out really what we knew in previous movies, but like finally they're really touching on it in this timeline, that they're doing this for their survival. Their town is dying. Nobody comes there anymore. They don't have any money. They need to live. I just think that the movie is great. I mean, it really is. But my favorite thing about this movie, and we did see this in theaters. We talked their parents into letting us see it in theaters, I believe, because we just had to. But my favorite part of this movie is the ending. And yes, I know it's a fucking cheat. How did he end up in the back of the car? I don't give a shit. It's a horror movie, okay? But my favorite part is that everybody dies. Sometimes I like nihilistic endings like that. And when this is called the beginning, and we know that this is before the movie we had just seen, nobody could have survived because the fucking FBI would have been notified. The military would have been notified of what's going on. So you get this moment where you're like, oh, our final girl is really going to live? Nah, dude, she gets fucking eviscerated. and I love every second of it. And that shot of Broniarski walking away from the car at the end of the movie in the dark. Oh, in the dark, bro. It's so fucking awesome. I love this movie. This is a 4.5 for me.
Wow. All right. Yeah, this is a movie that I also watched as a kid. It came out after I had seen the original, so I would have been 5 or 6 when this came out. I probably saw it like a year later on home video, so 6 or 7 was when I first saw it. And there are bits and pieces I remembered about it, but I hadn't really watched it nearly as much as the remake. Like I've always liked it, but upon watching it this last time, I still do really like it. But there are some flaws that kind of stuck out to me, which I do think make the movie interesting too. But a lot of the prequel elements of this, I don't know if I needed. Like, I don't really need to know why they're cannibals.
I'll agree. I'll agree. But I don't mean to interrupt. I'll agree in
Yeah, go ahead.
one. Monty. I didn't need to see that. I know
Right.
I had mentioned like, oh, we're gonna figure it out. But then when you see it, it's really underwhelming, and you're like, okay, why'd he cut both legs off? Like,
Yeah.
why was that the go-to? Like, I don't know. So yeah, that's a prequel aspect that I was like, I don't need that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need to see Leatherface's day job. I don't need to see him being born. I don't need to see, again, the Monty stuff. I don't need to see why they became cannibals or the cop thing. I think some of like the moments are fun.
Oh, fuck off. No, you need the cop thing. Fuck off.
Oh.
I'm not gonna let you get away with that, Jaden.
Okay, fair.
That is one we have to have, because there is no way we can accept Hoyt as the fucking sheriff of this town in 03 with how he behaves. There's no way. We had to have some kind of explanation as to, like, narratively for me, because sometimes I'm a bitch with narrative. Like, I really am. Like, no, you have to explain certain things. That was one thing that I needed explained, because if you're just going to ask me to accept that, like, the fucking sheriff of this town is just like a fucking murderous cannibal and nobody cares, there's no way he couldn't get away with it. So I appreciated that prequel aspect, but the birthing, the Monty stuff, yeah, I didn't need.
Yeah. I do think the Monty thing does give us maybe like the best like family moment though, when he messes up one leg and he's like, oh no, that's a sloppy job. You got to do the other. Like, I love that part. But I think this one fails to be as good as 03 because of the like actual hero and heroines. I really like the brothers and I like their dynamic, and I like how one doesn't want to go to war, the other one wants him with, like, all that's really interesting to me. But I think the movie kind of falls apart because they force a final girl, and I feel like the little brother really should have been the last character in this movie.
My favorite moment in this movie is when he's trying to find out.
When he's trying to what?
The card, when he's trying to find out whose draft card it was, and he says he's Dean, and he's
Oh
like,
yeah.
well, hey, Dean. That's my favorite. He's got a big ass chewing, and he's just like, well, hey, Dean. I love that so much.
All the scenes with him torturing those two guys they're pretty great. It's like the best parts of Hoyt in the remake. But yeah, I think the little brother was probably the best character in the movie, and he gets kind of unceremoniously killed, and we get this like bland final girl at the end. And I think it also would have been a lot more heart-wrenching if he's the one who is about to make it out and dies. But
yeah,
I'd probably go 3.5 with this one. I still like it. I would put it above 3 and 4. You know, you'll get my full ranking at the end, but there's a tease. But I don't think it's great anymore, like I might have thought when I was a kid. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, you know, you a bitch. What's next, Jaden?
All right. Yeah, up next is Texas Chainsaw 3D from 2013. One of the weirdest movies in the franchise for a lot of reasons. I think Trey Songz is in it. Alexandria Daddario is supposed to be 40.
Hold on. Daddario. Okay. Daddario. Capital D's. Okay.
Yeah. I'll get into her character and her as an actress and everything, but she's one of the best parts of the movie for me personally, even though she is kind of cheesy. But there's like a whole like warring family thing going on. It's like the 8th movie in this franchise to reboot or whatever and be a direct sequel to the original. I do appreciate the beginning scene where it really feels like a love letter to Texas Chainsaw in a lot of ways. Like a lot of characters are showing up and you get to meet Drayton and stuff and you see him and all that. But like, I don't know how the writer thought that any of this made sense. Like Daddario supposedly being 40, but she's clearly in her 20s. Like very clearly. Like the fact that made it to film and in a theater too, like that's fucking crazy. There's some really bad CGI in this movie too. Like, oh my god, dude. When the sheriff dies at the end,
No, it's so fucking bad.
it's like fucking PS1 graphics. It's like the worst shit you've ever seen. Man, this movie is also kind of boring. Like,
Yes, yes,
on
it is.
top of all the bullshit and like kind of funny, like truly terrible things about it, it's not charming or fun like The Next Generation. It's just a bland ass movie. But yeah, I'm gonna hand it over to you. Do your thing, cuz.
Oh fuck, that was a good segue. That was good. Credit where credit's due. Look, we were excited for this movie. We were bummed because they were resetting the timeline again. Kind of, because it's a sequel to the first movie, supposedly. But I was like, oh man, I really loved the beginning too, and now we're gonna reset again. Bullshit. We saw this in theaters opening night in January of 2013. Which was interesting because January usually tells you, we don't have a lot of faith in this turd. And then it had a really big opening weekend. And I was like, oh, wow, okay, maybe Texas Chainsaw is here to stay. No, it dropped like a rock after its first weekend and nobody went and saw it. So still ended up making money, I think, compared to its budget. Barely, but it was profitable. I got to be honest with you, man. Even in the theater, I was like really, really underwhelmed. Like I was just like, this movie... I don't know. And then subsequent viewings over the years as an adult, I have settled with this movie to where I am today. It's not good. I mean, I people say they have a lot of dumb fun with this movie and to not overthink it and this and that. That's fine. That's great. You know, I can understand it really is a zany over the top movie in a lot of ways, but you know, the OCD in me does not allow me to accept some of the glaring problems. The timeline being the first one. It makes no sense. If she's not 40, then this is in the 90s. And if it's in the 90s, you can't have a fucking iPhone. Like, no matter what explanation you try to give for the timeline in this movie, it will not make sense. And that's just filmmaking 101. Like, you have to do the basics right. And they can't even do that. I don't even think Daddario's honestly all that good in this movie at all. She's fine, but she still has her moments where she's like, not great. The reusing of the hitchhiker plot, stupid. I don't like Leatherface in this movie at all. I don't like the look. I don't like the movie. Like I really don't. And it really pisses me off that the director wanted to put, to keep the shirt stuck to Daddario so it wouldn't open up all the way, even though Daddario offered, by the way, if you guys didn't know this, to do that scene topless, and they said no. Fuck you. Minor gripe, but look, there's some bad CGI, there's bad acting, bad writing, and some of the worst lines in the entire franchise. Just truly, it's the pits. There's a couple cool kills. There's some nice throwbacks. You do get Gunnar Hansen in a cameo role. You get Bill Moseley in a cameo role. You even get Marilyn Burns in a cameo role. Like,
Yep.
There's some cool fan service to some of this, and there's some decent kills here and there, but largely this is a bad movie. And I will say, though, this is one of those movies where I can understand if someone says it's so bad it's good. Because this is one of those movies where I can see it, where I'm like, okay, I'll grant it to you, but it's never been my thing. This is... Man. You know what? I'm revising. Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw 3 is a 1.5. Texas Chainsaw 3D is a 1.5.
Okay. I'm probably going to go 2.5 because I do think it's just kind of mediocre and average more than anything. It's not like offensively bad to me beyond the age thing, which I think is so stupid, but it's just lame. It's up to this point, it's the lamest Texas Chainsaw.
I don't know,
in my
man.
opinion.
Great. So much about this movie is so like on the nose and predictable. It honestly insults my intelligence. Like, oh, Trey Songz's character is cheating with his girlfriend's best friend. Yeah, I saw that coming from the first time they were on fucking screen together. You telegraphed it. Oh, the hitchhiker is trying to rob them. He's not a good guy. Yeah, saw that shit coming a mile away. Like, there's so much about it that's just like, it's
It is Texas Chainsaw for Dummies. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Like,
not good.
all
Well,
right, Nick.
I guess I tee us off on the next one, right?
Yes, sir.
2017's direct to direct TV. Yes. Leatherface. Now, let me tell you guys something. This did premiere on DirecTV. You had to rent it on DirecTV. And me and my roommate Dave did. We were excited. Day it came out, I can't remember what we paid. It was like $8 or $10 to rent it. And I've got an interesting relationship with this movie. Leatherface is yet another prequel in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. 10 years after the last one. It's just like,
yeah,
okay, let's do it again. The difference here is this is in the timeline of the original film and Texas Chainsaw 3D. So technically, guys, this timeline is Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Texas Chainsaw 3D. How's that for a trilogy? Look, I remember the first time I watched this movie, I was like, this is kind of like Devil's Rejects, but like not as good. And then the end came and I was like, oh yeah, I guess this is a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie technically, so they had to tie this in somehow. I'll be honest, they got me with trying to figure out who Leatherface was. I did think it was going to be the big kid, which is honestly kind of a cheat that they do the opposite, but whatever. Lily Taylor is really good in this movie. I love Lily Taylor, although ever since The Conjuring, I will literally only see Bathsheba. Like, I will only see Bathsheba when I see that woman, and it honestly bothers the shit out of me because, like, Bathsheba scared the fuck out of me when I saw that movie for the first time in theaters. Like, that scares me. That's like, yeah, no, ugh. It's not a bad movie. I really don't care what anybody says. It's not a bad movie, but it's a bad Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. Both things can be true, and I think are true with this movie. For a road movie that has some nice twists and turns and some really good gore, I'll give them that. I think it was John Lucenhop that directed this movie. But as a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, it falls flat on its face. I mean, it really, really does. It doesn't feel like one. It doesn't look like one. And even the bullshit excuse of what happened to his face, a bullet went through his cheek. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Like, what? Yeah. That is so dumb. But I got to be honest, the little bit of the family dynamic you get in this movie, I enjoy. I enjoy Lily Taylor, like I said. It's a 2.5. It's a 2.5. It's a fine movie. You know, I had a weird relationship with it. I didn't hate it the first time I saw it. I watched it a couple more times and I really did not like the movie. Then I settled on a place where I was like, you know what? It's a fine movie. It's just not a good Texas Chainsaw movie, and that's kind of where I land.
Yeah, I saw this one pretty soon after it had come out, just online. And I came away from it kind of hating it because of the twist, because I don't think it makes any sense whatsoever. As I rewatched it this past time, I still think that. I still think it's fucking dumb. That this like handsome Chad flirting with nurses turns into Leatherface, like the Leatherface that we know. Doesn't make any sense. But I do agree that this is a pretty fine, like pretty okay road movie. The two like psycho killers in the group are interesting to follow. The dynamic between Bud and who ends up being Leatherface, like they got a cool little relationship there. But it never gets above okay for me. There are some like pretty cool kills, I guess. But I don't care about any. I don't care about the family dynamic. I don't believe that this is Leatherface, especially when we get to the end. With just none of it makes sense to me. I still think it's just kind of whatever. I'm tossing which way I want to go, and I'll figure it out in my ranking. But this is also a 2.5, same as Texas Chainsaw 3D. I think that has the benefit of an actual Leatherface that makes sense. This has better actual like non-Leatherface characters though, and is a better overall movie. So I'm kind of torn there. But it's whatever. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I think I largely agree with what you just said there. And also I want to add, I need to give a little bit more credit to Texas Chainsaw 3D, because while I don't particularly care for the performance or look of Leatherface, I think the way they handle that version of Leatherface, just like how he acts, what he does, I kind of dug that he's almost just being like looked after. He's very animalistic. I did dig that. So, Jaden, that brings us to the last one as of right now, doesn't it?
Yeah. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022. Weirdly, like super bizarre when it was announced for me, but a Netflix original movie and a Netflix exclusive movie at this point. There's no physical release. It's not on any other streaming platform. Yeah, my history with this one. So this came out, I want to say, was it like first week of January or something like that? Like this came out really early in
February.
2022.
February.
Okay,
February. If I'm remembering correctly. Let me check.
I just remember it coming out super early in 2022. And I got up at like 9 a.m. I saw that there was a new Texas Chainsaw movie on Netflix.
But yes, February 18th, my ex-wife's birthday. Yes.
Okay.
And
Nice.
we watched it that night on her birthday. I remember, and she was like, "That
What a
sucked."
birthday present.
Yeah, she hated it.
I woke up early, saw it on Netflix, texted my friend, was like, "Hey, you want to watch this?" and then go fuck off for the day. And yeah, so we watched it. This is a fun movie. I know a lot of people hate this movie, and I kind of don't get it. I think a lot of people that hate this movie are a bit too serious, because they're like, "Oh my god, how could you do that to Sally?" And we've talked about it. Sally's kind of a nothing like, who gives a shit? Like, she is whatever in that first movie. She's like, just, I don't know, copy and paste Final Girl. So I think the fact that and I don't know if it was intentional or not, but they kind of parody Halloween 2018, where there's like this big epic, like, oh my god, she's been waiting all this time and she's coming to fight the villain, and then she gets shit canned immediately and thrown in the garbage. I love that. I think it's hilarious. I like the weird setting that they're in, even though like this closed off town. I do like the performance of Leatherface. I think some of the kills are really cool. Like when he pokes the guy's bone out of his arm and he stabs him with it, like that's rad. This is a fun, dumb movie. Like, and the bus scene too. That scene's pretty great. And do anything and you're canceled, or say anything and you're canceled, whatever the fuck he said. It's bad, but I kind of dig it. So I'm gonna go 3 stars here.
All right, so this movie was a really interesting experience for me because I remembered the word about it, the word of mouth before it came out after the test screenings, where the word online was it tested really poorly. Like, oh yeah, it tested really poorly. Um, and that's why they're dumping it to Netflix and yada yada. And I was like, great, awesome. We're gonna get a shitty Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. Don't have enough of those. Um, so I watched it that night on Netflix, and my first thought, like while watching it, was, "Holy shit! Did Halloween 2018 really infect the zeitgeist so much that like all of these franchises then wanted to do the same thing?"
Mhm.
But I will give them credit, like you said, they do kind of turn it on its head, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Sally actually means nothing, and she's gonna get thrown out with the bathwater. Like we don't give a shit." And I was like, "Okay, I can dig that because yeah, she kind of does mean nothing. Why the fuck would Leatherface give a shit about her? Like,
Yeah.
it's weird." I don't really care for the characters in this movie. I really don't. I think they're all forgettable. They do try to have this really fucking cringe, like, I survived a school shooting.
Yeah.
Now I have to overcome my trauma about guns. And that's not me taking that away because I think that shit is awful. And if you know me personally at all, you know my thoughts on those things. But I'm
Yeah.
saying the way the movie handles it, I think is really cringe because it's like the character's entire arc. It's just, it's weird.
Yeah.
Now, all that being the case, dude, there's some gnarly shit in this movie.
Yeah, there is.
Don't like the look of Leatherface all that much, but I love the performance. I think it's a really good performance.
Yeah.
There's some great kills in this movie. I love the bus massacre scene. People were like bitching about that, and I was like, dude, this is fucking awesome. Like what? Like
Yep.
I love that. I love him getting fucking cold cocked at the end of the movie into the fucking puddle. Like, just, oh man, I was like, hell yeah. And I love the stinger before the credits where he cuts that
Oh, yeah.
bitch's head off and does this chainsaw dance. And I was
Yep.
like, yes. All those things being said, though, I do think it's a lot of nothing characters. There's some cringe things in it. And the whole Sally thing is just awful. But it's not a terrible movie. It's brisk. It's a quick watch.
Oh, yeah.
I think like without credits, it's not even 90 minutes. So it's fine. It's fine. I would give it 2.5 myself.
Okay.
But then shit. I guess we have to rank them now, right?
Yeah, before we do, I think it's important to talk about the future, like non-future really, of this franchise. Like there are certain things happening, but I want to say like when the movie came out, it got a pretty good amount of views on Netflix. Like it did pretty well for them.
Yep.
And there were rumors about a sequel happening, but it never really came to fruition. In between that time, we got a game, but it's one of those generic online multiplayer horror games that copies Dead by Daylight and Friday the 13th, and it's now dead, or at least on its way out. But there has been some smoke to the fire, I guess, recently. There's been talks of, don't know how I'm blanking on the name, but the director of The Monkey, Oz Perkins. He's been in talks to get the rights for these movies and do something with them, whether it's producing or directing. I hope it happens. We are very much due for a good Texas Chainsaw. It's been over 20 years since a truly great one in this franchise, and you could definitely argue there's only really 3 truly great ones in this franchise. I would like to see what a bigger creative voice can do with it. But I don't know if Texas Chainsaw is going to come back for a long time. I can't say I miss it, but I will be interested whenever it does.
Okay, so yeah, the rights lapsed. Netflix just kind of let them lapse. I don't think they really cared, and that's how we ended up where we are today, where there's a rights battle going on. People are they're all vying for it. It's Paramount, Neon, Netflix, and A24, if I'm not mistaken. And if I had my druthers, it's Neon all day and twice on Sunday. Mm-hmm. So, however, I'm on the opposite side of the fence as you. I actually do think we'll see it pretty soon. I think that a deal will be struck relatively soon for the rights. I mean, when you have that many parties interested, a sale's going to happen. And then if they're that interested, they're going to want to greenlight a movie right after they get the rights. So I think we'll get something soon. Yeah, I mean, but I'm the same as you. I can't say I'm missing it. Like, there's some hole in my life without Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like, I'm just like, okay, if another one comes, cool, I'll be there. Especially if it's Neon. Like, I'll absolutely be there. I mean, you really want to get me going. Announce that Neon got the rights and Rob Zombie's directing it, and I will literally shit my pants. But if it doesn't happen for years, I don't. It is what it is. Like, the franchise, the quote unquote franchise itself, has never been all that popular. I don't think with the mainstream audiences. So, absence maybe will make the heart grow fonder, but that's kind of where I am with it. Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll just get into ranking these movies, and I got to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in last place for me is Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. Uneventful, boring, not a fan. How many movies? Are there 8 movies?
9.
9? Yeah. Okay. Coming in at number 8 is The Next Generation. As much as I can see the zany allure of it, it's still not a good movie. So I cannot objectively put it any higher than that. Number 7 would be Texas Chainsaw 3D. Just dog shit. But there's some redeeming qualities, I guess. Coming in at number 6, Texas Chainsaw 2022. Fun, but largely unmemorable. Flash in the pan. Number 5 is Leatherface 2017, smack dab in the middle. I gave it 2.5 out of 5, which would say it's average. If it's smack dab in the middle, it's average. It's middle of the road. It's not a bad movie, but it's not a good Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, and that's kind of where I land with it. Number 4 is going to be Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. I really dig the change in tone with this movie. I actually think it works really well, and I still think watching 1 and 2 back to back is actually a good, a good watch, even if they are very tonally different. Coming in at number 3, it's going to be Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning. While I love this movie, I mean, I really do love this movie. It is, it's got a couple things, as we talked about, that I didn't really need, and they get a little overboard a few times there, and the characters aren't as interesting. And then, no shock here. Number 2 is the original. I said my piece on that. And number 1 is Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003. All
right.
Probably my favorite horror remake, right there with Black Christmas 06. I adore the movie. I mean, yeah, that's my ranking.
All right. Yeah, that's fair ranking. All right. My number 9 is Texas Chainsaw 3D. Just a bad movie. Also boring. Not a fun bad movie. Yeah, can't take much away from that. Number 8, Leatherface. I put it above purely because it is like an actual decent movie. It's not terrible, but the twist is still really dumb, and it's not all that memorable either. Number 7, Texas Chainsaw 2022. I think there are some memorable kills in this, and there is actual fun to be had on like the 2 previous. And I don't know, I think I gave it 3 stars, so that would automatically put it above those, which are 2.5. Number 6, Leatherface TCM 3. Kind of just gone down in my like ranking and rating in years. I think it's still a decent slasher, but again, not a great Texas Chainsaw movie. Number 5, which kind of surprises me, but Texas Chainsaw: The Next Generation. I just love this stupid ass movie now. I don't know, man. It's super fucking fun. Number 4, TCM: The Beginning. Yeah, I mean, there are issues with it, but it has enough of that TCM 03 DNA to be good enough for me. Number 3, Texas Chainsaw 2. One of the best horror comedies of all time. Very close to the original for me, but still not as good as my number 2, which is the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which for a long time would have been probably middle of the road in this ranking for me, but I understand why people love it now, and I love it just as much. But number 1, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 03. The remake, the greatest remake of the 2000s for sure. It's neck and neck with The Fly for me in terms of remake in general in horror, but it's a 5-star movie. I don't care what anyone says. I know it's got its haters because people love to hate 2000s horror and they love to hate remakes, but they can go fuck themselves.
Yeah, honestly, I just feel like that's a miserable existence, personally. Yep. If you're just like, oh, it came out after the year 2000, garbage. I'm like, well, you missed out on a lot of really great shit. There's some great horror films over the last 25 years. Horror films that I would put in my top 25 of all time.
Me too.
Dr. Sleep. Texas Chainsaw 3 is up there. The Descent. You're missing out. So,
yeah.
Me personally, and I know some people are going to vomit in their mouths when I say this. I don't really care. By the way, sorry about all the yawning here, guys. I worked all day.
Yeah, we're recording pretty late.
Yeah, it's like
we started recording at 10:15. We had some technical issues, so more like 10:30.
Yeah. Given that we're in the era of requels, I'm just gonna put it out there. I'd be totally cool with a sequel to 2003, in some form or fashion. It'll never happen. I know it won't. But if I had my druthers, that's what you would do, because at this point, they've done everything else in this franchise to death. They've rebooted it multiple times. They've created alternate timelines and branches and stuff, and it's just like, it's probably just going to be a full-on reboot again. I don't want that, though. I'd like to continue with a promising thread. And that would be 03. I think that would be. Now, I know even if it were like, oh, well, that's on the table. Well, Arlie Ermey's gone, so it would never happen anyway. So, yeah, I don't know what the future holds for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I do know that I believe it's going to be relatively soon. And wherever it is, hopefully theatrically, I'll be there, and I'll be hoping it's good. I'll be hoping it's better than 3D.
Yeah.
It's ironic. Never mind. I'm not going to say it. I mean, the movie's 3D. You got Daddario in it. Like, yeah. So, I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Jaden, what's up next for the people? Preview them.
All right. So, as we talked about on the last episode, we're doing this new bi-weekly form of the podcast. And we're going to continue with, I guess, this like Saw-tember theme, right? We did Texas Chainsaw. In 2 weeks from now, we're going to be talking about Saw. One of the most fun and consistent like horror franchises of all time.
It's a telenovela. It's a telenovela.
Yeah, it's a soap opera, but super gory. Again, another I mean, this is a franchise, like, this is probably, of all the ones we've talked about, this is the one that's most like our era. And I know you're a couple years older, but we're still kids of the 2000s, right? And these movies dominated the 2000s. I mean, they were out every October, and then I kind of felt like it would be a good time to do it right before October to ease you guys into the season, because we're going to have a pretty huge October. And yeah, this is a fun ass franchise. I know you and I both love it. I'm very excited to talk about these movies.
Oh yeah, I love it. But it's really just, no, there's 2 movies in the franchise that I can't wait.
There's
to
2 truly awful ones.
Yeah, just take a shit all over.
Yeah.
Well, guys, look forward to that. I just want to say too, since this is the first time that I'm recording something that since channel broke 10,000 subscribers, which is awesome. I've been working towards this for a while. I'm seeing growth on my channel every day that I've never seen in my time on YouTube. 100+ subscribers a day. I'm already at 10,100, and I was at 10,000 this morning. So it's kind of crazy. I don't know if I've finally broken through on YouTube, and it's just going to be like consistent growth every day. Would love that. I'm glad a lot of you guys found me, and I'm having a great time doing this. And if things keep up the way they are for a while, I'll quit my fucking day job, buddy. I'll tell you that right now. So just shout out to all the new people that are a part of my channel and watching this and all the other content that I do. It's really means a lot. So yeah, get ready for the end of Saw-tember and the beginning of Cocktober, where we are just going to be talking about Peacock movies. No, I'm just kidding.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. So this is going to be dropping. Today is Saturday night, late Saturday night. This will drop Monday afternoon.
Yep.
I'll give it a day on Patreon for everybody to watch it tomorrow and whatnot, for all of you that pay monthly for that. If you don't, head over to patreon.com/Lost River Drive-In and get your fix. Jaden, do you want to tell the people where they can find us?
Yeah. I'd say our most active account right now is our Instagram, which is PodGoblinsYT. I got to work on making a new Twitter account, bunch of BS, but we're going to get it up and going.
What did you do?
I forgot the login.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah. I'll find it, or I'll make a new one or whatever. Yeah, this has been a fun ride, man. I can't wait for spooky season this year. It's going to be a lot of fun.
There's already a chill in the air here. It is currently 55 degrees.
Oh yeah,
feels nice. Enjoying it. So, all right, guys. Well, leave a like on this. Comment down below. Let us know your ranking of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, and let us know why we are right or why we are wrong. But every like, every comment helps boost this into the algorithm. So we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. And we will check in with you guys in 2 weeks. So until then, stay disgusting and keep gobbling on the pod.